goodness. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. I don't know if anybody is even going to join. What up, superhuman? So I have gone live, as you can see, the setup here. Today we're discussing my favorite last-minute Amazon Prime Day deals. I invited a couple friends. They're going to be hopping on soon. We had some technical difficulties. This was supposed to start 15 minutes ago. It's now 10:30. It's starting now, but I would love for you to join me. It's on my YouTube channel. You can just go into the event and you'll see the thumbnail for it. Anyway, hey, what's up, everybody? I just saw some people join. We're going to be starting here in just a second. I'm just sending a quick shout out to the Instagram community to join us. So join us. Ba-da-boom-boom. Normally, I kind of do this with like a big thing. Why don't we roll the intro? Let's just do it. What up, superhumans? Today we are talking about last-minute Prime Day deals. First of all, let me know in the chat whether the video is working and the audio is working, because I had severe technical difficulties earlier and I couldn't get anything to work. So let me know if the mic is working, video is working. You're going to see a standby thing right here. I can't get that to leave. I don't know why. Like I said, this is something I put together last minute because it's the last day of the Amazon Prime days. And so I wanted to get something to you, but it's been a complete shit show so far. Doing the best we can here. I'm sending invites to Katie Type A and Shervin Shares. Are two of my best friends that also are in the same vein on YouTube. So hopefully they'll pop in, join, and then we can have a discussion on like what our favorite deals are. Also, in the description, I will be putting in my kit. Basically, every product we discussed today, you can come back later. Once this thing has been posted, like once the live's over, you'll be able to drop into the description and click on kit. Rather than giving you a link to literally every single item, this is one link that takes you to all the items. And then you can just kind of pick and choose whether or not you want to view that item. Some of them are really good deals that aren't necessarily Prime Day deals, and some of them are even outside of Amazon Prime altogether because they're not sold on Amazon Prime. So just to give you a heads up. John, thanks for joining. Great intro, by the way. That's really nice of you. Thank you. It's quite basic, but it seems to be working. All right. I've got some notes here. Like I said, we threw this together pretty darn fast. And so I'm going to be covering, you can't really see this, bam, but that's a whole bunch of products that I want to cover in Amazon Prime. Let me show you. Let's see. Hey, there's Shervin. Products that I want to cover in. What up, dude?
What up? Am I live?
Yeah, there. It seems to sound like there's quite a bit of delay at this point. I don't even want to mess with it. But everybody, welcome. This is Shervin Shares. He has a phenomenal YouTube channel. I will literally type it in right now.
I'm more well known for my mustache, I think. But yeah, you
Yeah,
can pick
I
it
think
too.
so. Is that gonna be like a staple from here on out? Because you've gone beard, you've gone mustache, you've gone shaven.
So far, yes.
Just the mustache. So I invited Shervin on because he's a pretty big like tech fitness nerd like me. Um, and he's done a bunch of different reviews. We kind of like fall into the same vein where we review a lot of the similar stuff, but we do have some differences. So I brought Shervin on because I think he's going to be really helpful for some of his favorite products. Sherv, I've got a huge list of things that I did in notes: foot massagers, massage guns, ice baths, hyperbaric chambers, red light therapy, all sorts of fun stuff. Some of it's not offered on Amazon Prime. Like maybe we talk about like Doc Pro and 8 Sleep because we both use them both. We can kind of go over pros and cons, but I think both of those companies are doing big sales. So anyway, what do you think?
Yeah. I don't have a full prepared list, but I'm gonna look at my Amazon orders
Yeah.
and go with that.
Don't sweat it. I actually have my iPad up, and so I can. Oh, you have a virtual set. All right, that's cool. It's just a big green screen. You can see it like starting to blend. That's really funny. Threw me off for.
My room is messy, so I'm hiding it.
Dude, it's okay. I like it. Let's see. I'm gonna answer John's question real quick. He says you once said about world records, but I'd never heard anything. Care to share? Yeah, I mean, I guess I can go into that real quick. John also wants to know about 8 Sleep. I'm gonna let you, Shervin, talk about 8 Sleep if that's cool. But as far as world records, I set two, and they were literally for jumping on boxes. So not that impressive, but it was like it's called the highest standing jump, and it's just a box jump. And at the time, the world record was like 60 inches, and I did 61. And then the single leg box jump was 48. So that was it. But I mean, those were eradicated long ago by people much younger and more athletic than myself. Sure. 8 Sleep. Do you know if there's any deals going on 8 Sleep right now? I'm going to pull it up on my end. I didn't realize that that's not what I want. 8 Sleep. Maybe it'll give it.
Not that I know of. Usually they'll have like ones around the holidays.
Yeah. I know they just got done doing a big 4th of July sale. So I don't know. Here's the 8 Sleep page.
But use code Brandon or code Shervin, depending on who you want to support. that will always stack. That's what
Yeah,
I've figured out. That code will always stack on whatever promotion is running right now. So even if there's a 4th of July promotion, you can use that code and it adds on top of it.
which is very nice. So they offer a bunch of different products. I'm specifically talking about the PodPro. Um, so right now it looks like you're saving $100, but like Shervin said, you can use the code Shervin, and you're gonna get. Do you know how much that stacked savings is?
$50 on top of whatever promotion there is right now.
Well, let's try it out. I'll go to add cart, and we'll review this cart. Go to checkout. We'll type it in there and see exactly what it gives us.
I'm curious now. Your screen's inverted. Is that just me or?
My thing's inverted? Oh, it is. What the weird? Dude, I'm telling you, like this whole.
Go to
Oh,
settings, video, and change. Go to settings on the streaming thing and change mirror camera. Turn it off
dude, look at you.
on restream.
Ah, I see what you're saying. Boom. Did that work? That worked.
Yes.
Shervin, you're a genius. Is it just Shervin?
Yes. Let's see if this works.
Apply.
Should be 150.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
All
there you
right.
go. So if you use the code Shervin or Brandon, I think that's my code. You can
Try
use
it.
Shervin because that's a safe bet. But either way, this will save you additional money. It supports the channel. Yep. So it's Brandon.
Yay.
So there you go. Oh, we also got. Hey, Katie, are you ready?
Oh.
I see you're messing around with a mic. So my friend Katie Type A is also hopping on with us. So we're gonna outnumber the viewers 3-1. I don't think she's ready. She's got headphones on. I can see a mic. Katie, can you give me a thumbs up if you're ready? Yeah, I don't think she can hear me. I'm just gonna pull her on just in case. This might scare her. Why won't it let me? Okay. It won't even let me bring her up. God damn it. Just a sec. Let me text her. I invited this guest. Oh, there we go. God. Killing me. Got
What
you
is
in
this
here.
Having
setup?
audio issues. I cannot hear anything
Whoa, you're like in a
that you're
sound
saying,
booth.
but maybe you can hear something that I'm saying. So hold on.
Yeah,
Give me
we
a
can hear
second.
you. I think we're just gonna hear Katie screaming at us for the next 20 minutes. She can't hear
Brandon,
anything.
just remove me for a minute because I'm going to do some.
Okay, see you later. And she's gone, just like that. All right, so 8 Sleep, you can save an extra $150. Shervin, tell me what you love about the 8 Sleep. Like, why is this something somebody should get?
It depends on your needs. My needs are like I sleep really hot and my air conditioner is not working, so it cools it. So sleeping cold is amazing. I love the vibrate to wake and the heat feature. It like slowly wakes you up in the morning. I don't use that as often because I prefer not having an alarm.
Yeah.
But that's nice if you have to wake up at the same time every day. And then the sleep tracking feature is nice, but I have 10 million sleep trackers, so I don't use that as often. But if I only had one sleep tracker, it's a great place to start.
It is. I heard that they just kind of updated their sleep tracking, actually. Like their heart rate measurement algorithm is quite a bit more accurate than it even used to be. Pretty incredible that technology, like in your bed, you can have something monitor your heart rate. It's absolutely bonkers.
I think it's but what I think is also there's two other companies that do that where you don't have to wear anything. Google,
Mm-hmm.
With the Nest Hub. I don't know if you knew that, but you just put the Nest Hub next to your
No
bed and it
idea.
tracks your sleep. It's probably another one of my favorite sleep trackers.
Interesting.
And there's a company called Somnify out of Europe that also did that, but they stopped selling it to consumers.
Oh, okay. You said it was the Nest Hub?
Yep.
Well, right now, you can get the. Is this the one,
It's
Shervin,
version
right
2.
there?
It needs to be the version 2.
Version 2. It says second gen.
Yep, that's it.
So this
That's
thing
the
right
mount.
here,
That's the mount.
oh, that's just the mount. I was like, man, that's really cheap, dude. So it looks like
$100.
you can just get the mount from Amazon. Kind of makes sense, I guess, because it's not Google. Anyway, that's what it looks like, but you can't get the deal. But if you want a mount for really cheap, there you go. All right. 8 Sleep, definitely on. For me, I'm a Doc Pro user, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, it's me and my wife, so it's nice that we have 2 units because we can control our own unit. You can do the same thing using
One of these?
8 Sleep. Yeah, Shervin, we can't see you because the green screen you're
Ah.
using is the same color, and so it literally
Damn it.
keys out the Doc Pro. But anyway, The difference there are a few differences, but you got 8 Sleep, which is one unit, and that controls both sides of the bed. The Dock Pro is 2 units if you want. It controls each side of the bed individually. So if something should break on one side, the other person can still use theirs. But anyway, we use the Dock Pro. Katie's ready to go, so I'm going to bring you in just a second, Katie. But right now, they're doing 20% off the Dock Pro, which is like the biggest sale they've done, and that lasts until the 17th. So 20% off the Dock Pro, which is pretty gnarly right there. So you can get like a half queen for $7.99. This is a better deal than like my link will get you. But again, all the links to the products that I have will be in the kit. You can select that after the live is like actually shoved to YouTube or whatever. Once we turn off the live and it posts, you'll be able to have access to all those links. All righty. Katie.
Oh, hey. Okay,
She's
Shervin, I got a question for you. What the hell is going on with your background? That is not where you live, right?
I moved.
That is such a swanky apartment. Holy moly.
I'm not as cool as you to have the setup you have, so I had to fake it.
Oh, I get it.
It's a green screen.
But look at that pool.
See
My
that?
gosh, your own private
Oh,
pool.
look at that.
His
Fantastic.
can is
Oh my gosh. And you've started to
keyed
do
out.
magic because you can just disappear now. This is amazing. Congratulations. Look at all that biohacking is really paying off. Okay, sorry. I had audio stuff. We just got back from New York. I am slightly jet lagged, and so I was like trying to figure out what hole goes in what. That sounded terrible. Anyway, so Dock Pro, that sounds like a fantastic deal. Maybe because I haven't tried it, but can you just give me a brief, like, I don't know, SparkNote version of what would you say is the main difference between Dock Pro and the 8 Sleep?
Dock Pro and 8 Sleep, I think performance-wise, you're getting very similar functions. But Dock Pro, I would say, you don't need an app for it. So like if you want to change the temperature, you don't have to go into your phone in the middle of the night. That's probably one of the biggest selling features because blue light while you're trying to sleep isn't good. And then 2 is if you want to control 2 sides of the bed, you get 2 devices. I know that sounds crazy, but they're similarly priced. I think Dock Pro is quite a bit cheaper, actually. And if something should happen to your unit, you're not completely screwed. So like with the 8 Sleep, since there's only one device, if something should happen to it, you're kind of both SOL. But with the Dock Pro, if one side goes out, at least your partner still has, temperature regulation. I would say those are the
you can just like snuggle on one side of the bed and try and get as cold as you can. So, does it also do tracking? Like, does it look at your sleep metrics and give you a report in the morning, or no?
To follow that up, no, not yet. But here in the next few months, they should have all of that being rolled out.
I would argue that is not an essential feature. And in some ways, I like the idea. And I've actually had a couple of conversations. My good friend Josh and I have joked because we were like, it's so hard not to check your stats in the morning. And for a while, I was trying really hard not to look at my sleep stats or any, I wasn't wearing any trackers. And I just kind of wanted to objectively see how I felt in the morning and not think about what did my 8 Sleep say? Because even though I wasn't wearing my Whoop or my Aura or anything, I still was tempted to look at what my 8 Sleep said. And so I think that there is an advantage for people who maybe want to take a break from tracking to have the ChiliPad Dock Pro just not tell you anything. It's more just like you start to feel in your body how good a night of sleep you got. And then you can start to make those kind of correlations. So I think that there's pros and cons to both of it. For data nerds like myself, the 8 Sleep is great. And you don't always have to look at the stats. And I tend to tell people not to. I say, if you're one of the people who obsesses over what your sleep scores were and it affects your whole day, maybe wait until the end of the day or the end of the week to go back and look at your sleep. But try and get that feeling of, I had a great restful night of sleep and I was super productive that day, and just journal that somewhere so you can keep track.
Shervin, can you turn that function off in the app, or is it always on?
Sleep tracking?
Yeah, like to Katie's point, if it's something that you don't want to be tempted to look at, can you just turn it off so you don't have to?
Good question.
Not to my knowledge, but here's my hack for that. Just you can go into into your settings on your phone, and you
Mm-hmm.
can limit your certain apps and your ability to look at
Gotcha.
them. And so I set up a window of time in which I cannot access my 8 Sleep app, and so I won't I won't do it in the morning, but I
There
haven't
you
been
go.
able to figure out a way to take off sleep tracking. I mean, I guess you could. It's also sleep tracking, I think, is part of their membership now because, 8 Sleep's on a membership. So if
Yeah.
you get the 8 Sleep and you don't join their membership, you're not going to get sleep tracking at all.
Oh, okay.
So problem
Shervin,
solved if that's it.
I saw you
Are
hold
you
up your
talking
phone.
about one of these things, the time limit?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's what Katie was talking
Exactly.
about.
Yeah.
That never works for me. Ignore 15 minutes. Ignore 15 minutes.
Well, it's
Say,
all
I've
about
had that
willpower,
before, and
right?
it's just like, all right, know my own psychology.
Yeah. I mean, I
That's
think it's
fun.
like once you take a big break from looking at it, you start to just forget about it.
Gotcha. When I came up with this, it was like really last second thrown together. What are my favorite Amazon Prime Day deals? Because today is the last day. I
Mhm.
would love to maybe not abandon that, but abandon this whole like, I'm going to go through the list and you guys tell me what you think. Maybe we can just go over what are some of the best products you've used so far
Mm.
that are on Amazon Prime Day as a Prime Day deal. If you guys will let me start, I'm just going to throw one out there to kind of get the ball rolling. And it's actually the Amazon Halo View. And
Mm.
I think for the cost, because right now, let me pull it up. I believe it's only like $40. Yep. Amazon Halo View, it's 44% off. It's $45. We were talking about like tracking earlier. If it's something that you want to get into, if you're just starting and you want
Mhm.
something very basic, that works and actually has a lot of cool features. The Amazon Halo View has probably been my favorite like introductory wearable of the year.
Mm. That's really
So,
cool.
I mean, so you get a Halo membership. It's 12 months. That's included when you buy it. Plus, it's only $3.99 a month. That's much cheaper than most memberships. But even if you don't use the membership, all of like your basic data, you get steps, heart rate, all sorts of cool stuff. But I think for half off, that's a pretty damn good deal. It's also a watch. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the I apologize. I have not done much prep on the I was flying yesterday, so
Yeah, don't sweat it.
I am looking at the Amazon stuff right now. And honestly, I would say invest in some good hue lights in your home. I think they're on sale right now. And I can't even tell you what a difference having red lights at night makes. My I was staying with my family and they have these bright fluorescent lights on until like 9 o'clock. And I had such a hard time going to sleep. And so I would say get yourself a couple of hue lights. It all connects,
Yeah.
to your devices, and then, you can even pair it to your Alexa or Google Home and say, hey, set an evening routine. So at 7 o'clock or, 6:30, it's automatically starting to dim. I would definitely say invest in that if you're looking to improve your sleep. And then because it is the summer and if you live in a warm region, I would also say look at a like portable or like foldable ice bath. I recently we bought something super cheap, and there are a bunch of them on right now for a Prime deal. If you just type in like foldable or portable ice bath, you can set it up if you have a bathtub or even if you're outside. You put some water in there, and then I would say like maybe 50 to 60 pounds of ice, which is, if you're thinking of some of the 8-pound bags that they sell at grocery stores, it's actually really affordable. A $50 ice bath plus, maybe $15 worth of ice, and you've got yourself an ice bath, right?
Yeah.
Now that is the ice barrel. I don't think that's part of the Prime deal. That's a kind of a
It's
separate
not,
thing.
but this is one that I found earlier, and one of the reasons I found it was actually because of Shervin's video. Like, you just
Yeah.
did a video on this, didn't you,
showed
Shervin? Yeah.
Yeah, this one is it's not the most budget friendly option out there. I'd probably go with one that Katie recommends if you're trying to save money. This is great for aesthetic purposes and makes you look really cool on Instagram.
Compared to a lot of other ice baths, it's pretty damn cheap, though.
Mm-hmm. It's true because most of the ones like the Forge and the there's a couple of other ones out there too that you're looking to pay at least $4,000, right?
Oh,
And
yeah. If you
then
went with Cold
yeah.
Plunge or Energized or some of those others, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, it's a pretty hefty investment. So yes, this, like Shervin said, this one isn't cheap. There are other options. Like, you could just buy a stainless steel horse trough and dump ice in it. But
or a wine barrel, which I'm doing. I'm actually getting one
There you
from
go.
Napa, and it's gonna, and another hack too, if you're like super nerdy into the like keeping your water cold, you can also get like these aquarium like coolers. Like, they're basically
Yeah.
I don't know, some of them are a little bit, maybe they're like $1,000-$1,500, but that will literally keep your water at like 40 degrees all the time, so you
That's
never have to
cool.
worry about buying ice, which is great.
Sure, if you use these and another one, maybe you can, like, what was your experience with this?
The ice barrel?
Yeah.
So I also built a chest freezer ice bath.
Okay.
I like the ones that require the least effort to get in, right?
Yeah.
If I have to go buy ice and fill it up with water, I'm probably not going to use it. And that's why I think the chest freezer one was my favorite. There is maintenance to it of cleaning out the water depending on how often you use it and all that.
Shervin, which one was it? What did you call it?
Freezer?
Oh, just a regular chest freezer?
Like, I bought like a chest freezer for freezing meats, ice cream. And
do you know how many cubic feet it was?
14.6 or 15-ish.
Okay. Just so I can pull it up and give everybody an idea of what we're looking at here. So, something like this.
I think that's the exact one.
Right on.
There.
Oh, it's
So, yeah,
less than $800. That's awesome.
Yeah. $650.
I think it costs like $1,000 in total for plus the supplies to convert it, because you could fill it up with water, but I bought like a filter, ozone generator, and all these things to keep the water clean and circulated and make sure it doesn't leak.
Interesting. Yeah, ice baths are something I want to get into more, and I think this is going to be one of those worthwhile purchases upcoming.
The problem, though, is if you live in a studio or a one-bedroom apartment like I do on a third floor, and you don't have like an outdoor area to store it, what do you do? Right? So that's why I say, like, if you have a bathtub, fill ice in your bathtub and, do that. Like, there are ways to get cool. Just, you can get a little creative. And if you're on a budget, there are so many options out there now.
Wrists and hands. So when I was playing volleyball, we work with like USA Strength and Conditioning. We had access to some pretty incredible like research scientists. And some of the products that were being made to rapidly cool athletes, like when you play beach volleyball, there's no AC. Like, you play in whatever environment the beach is, and if the beach is 95 degrees and the sand's 135, like, you're dehydrating pretty fast. But they would have little igloos that you would stick your hands in, and it would super cool your wrists and your hands, and that gave you the most rapid core temperature drop out of anything.
I'm going to send you something kind of similar, a product that actually Huberman was talking to Dr. Craig Heller. This goes back almost a year, and I know that this was something that it's becoming a patent in technology, and they were only working with the military and pro athletic teams right now. So let's see. Yeah, it's only available to Olympic and pro athletes, but it's going to be available soon. So I'd say hop on the wait list. That it's exactly what you're talking about. It is specifically designed to cool the palms, and there's a lot of scientific backing, a lot of scientific studies on the thermoregulation effects that this has on endurance, and so it's fascinating. And definitely listen to that episode. I'll drop you that episode too if you want to put it in the show notes. It's really, really good.
Will do. Yeah, it's super effective. So to your point, like if you don't have the space for a dedicated ice bath, a bathtub, and literally making sure that your hands and your wrists are submerged is a great way to get like 90% of the effect on a budget. Thanks for the link.
I also did an ice vest from Ben Greenfield. He was recommending this a while back. Forget which one it's called. I'll have to look it up and I'll send it to you after. But
yeah, I've used a couple.
Yeah, they're pretty effective. Like if you're just super, super hot and you want to freeze or get your core cold, that's a great option as well.
Yep. Cool. Sheriff, anything?
Amazon products. I was looking at the Hue lights and the Amazon Halo. I was like, I shouldn't be spending more money.
It's okay. No worries.
So
it's just like crap.
I ordered Spike Ball. I feel like that was on sale. It might be sold out. I ordered Celsius. That also sold out pretty quickly. I got air tags. I feel like losing things and putting it in your luggage is really important.
These are great suggestions.
And then I also actually bought it.
I bought an open pack right here.
Oh, there you go.
I gotta put these on something. I'm gonna
put it on your dog because I'm putting it on my dog. When I can't find his collar, we put it they end up everywhere. I'm gonna put an air tag on it.
I probably should put one of these on Henry. I bought a one wheel, so I'll probably put it in one of the pads. The one wheel. Mm-hmm. I think that would be smart because I don't want $2,800 just being driven off.
Right.
Yeah. Are you guys cool to answer a couple of questions?
Yeah, of course.
So these aren't necessarily on Amazon Prime, but let's pull these up. So the used one says, what's the best? So this is completely off topic, totally fine. What's the best way to tag? I'm not sure what this means, but what's the best way to tag on a strict diet and handle cravings? And then, here, let's just stick with this one first of all. Some of this stuff I'm not sure what you mean. So what's the best way to tag on a strict diet and handle cravings? I'm just going to what's the best way to stick to a strict diet and handle cravings? I don't know. Sherman, tackle this.
This is a joke, but just tape your mouth shut. I'm just kidding.
Mouth tape.
Honestly, it's extremely hard. Everyone has cravings. I struggle with it all the time. I have a whole pint of ice cream once a week because I have these cravings. Staying on a strict diet is really, really hard. I think the best way to stay on a strict diet is to make the diet not strict. Doing it right most of the time. Being healthy most of the time is my goal. 80-20 rule. As long as I'm doing it right 4 to 5 days out of the week, that's good enough for me. And creating those flexible boundaries has made it easier to stick with something rather than saying 7 days a week, I have to eat 2,250 calories, X amount of fat. Because I create slightly flexible boundaries, it helps me stay within the bounds.
Yeah. I think when it comes to fasting too, I've gone through, different periods of doing the, kind of 16-8, pretty strict intermittent fasting. But then I sometimes just find that doing a 24-hour fast once a week and then not getting too concerned about the fasting throughout the week has been really helpful. If you can go through one day of just not eating food, kind of clean up that metabolism, get your mitochondria working again, in the most efficient way, and then go back to your, whatever you're eating. I think if you fill up on really highly densely nutritious foods and good fats, you're not going to be craving the sugar. It's just it's going to slowly, kind of wash away from your system. You're just going to be craving, especially like that's why people on carnivore diet, and I'm not promoting the carnivore diet at all, but they tend to be really satiated very easily. I would also say drink a lot of water, hot tea, put lemon, make sure you're getting enough electrolytes and minerals. So mineralize your water. I in the morning will have a squeeze of lemon and some Himalayan sea salt in some warm water, and and then I'll follow it up with maybe my bulletproof coffee kind of midway through the morning. And so as a result, like I feel satiated in the morning, and then the whole trick is to not gorge in the afternoon, but maybe space out your meals a little bit, and look for the really good healthy fats, and your good protein sources, vegetables, fibers. Like it's kind of common sense. It's not rocket science. Once you get into the swing of things, you're going to feel so much better, and you're not going to be having that sweet craving all the time. That's been my experience, but I'm also a female and I'm pretty lean, and I've always kind of just listened intuitively to like certain periods of time in which I want to, I want to kind of cheat, and that's totally fine too, kind of to Shervin's point. But yeah, once you get into a good healthy pattern, I think those, sugar cravings and stuff kind of dissipate.
For me, being a trainer, this is kind of what I came up with after doing it for 20 years. I have a couple of basic rules, and they have nothing to do with like actual food, and it's more from the mentality standpoint. A lot of people that I trained made poor diet decisions because they were put in a situation where they were like, oh, I got to choose this or this, and I got to do it really quick. So one was never leave home without food. So just always have the food on hand that you should be eating. Reduce the amount of decisions you have to make when it comes to food. So if you're given
Yeah.
a plethora of options, you usually choose
Mhm.
the worst one. Two, always have food in your car. So we want to avoid like
Mhm.
fast food and stuff like that. If people get hungry while they're in their car, I'm going to get whatever is fastest and easiest, and more often than not, that's not a nutritious meal. And three was gas stations are for gas, and that is to take out all of the super impromptu delicious foods that gas stations offer.
Mhm.
I'd say the other thing after doing 75 hard up to this point in a couple of whole 30s is that you have to go long enough for that drug to be kind of rooted out of the system in a way. So
Yeah.
at day 27 I'm on now, day 28, the first like 14 days were a pretty big struggle when it comes to sugar. Like the foods that have been the most difficult to take out of my diet are all sugar related.
Yeah.
At about 14 days, that craving has just gone away. Like I don't crave chocolate, I don't crave ice cream. Even when I'm super hungry, it's more like, man, I could really go for a pizza or a hamburger. It's not like ice cream or chocolate or something like that. So when it comes to sugar, unfortunately, it's one of those things that you have to go long enough without that you don't need it anymore. You don't need that drug anymore.
Yeah. I'd also say be careful with the fake sugars like the sweeteners, monk
Yeah.
fruit, xylitol, stevia, like all of those are still kind of triggering that same glucose response in the body. And so even though it's sugar free technically, like you're still promoting that kind of craving, right? So
Yeah.
I say if do the best you can to avoid all those like keto granolas, keto bars, like they're just kind of reinforcing that habit that you have. You're just replacing it with something else, but you tend to overeat that stuff anyway. At least that's been my experience. And there was one other thing I was going to say about the whole oh yeah, exercise too. I mean, it all
Yeah.
like when I am and I've been doing only strength training recently, and I actually stopped running just because I've had some hip stuff going on. I'm starving afterwards, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think like I'm gonna throw the ball to Shervin because I feel like you are phenomenal with like your post protein smoothie workout. Like, what do you put in that? What do you do after you work out? Because I know you go pretty hard at the gym.
I just put a lot of protein. Recently I've been using maca, and then try to put like spinach and like some kind of vegetables and some fats.
What kind of protein? Do you do like a pea protein? Do you do collagen? Do you do
No, I
whey?
do
Like there's so many.
I do whey, and then a little bit of like there's some protein Tim Ferriss talked about, some collagen that I use, and then I use the whey from Thorne.
Okay. Yeah. What
And
about you, Brendan? Do you do the same thing?
Not. I mean, so a counterpoint to the whole sugar get rid of crave discussion and how that fuels my dietary needs. It's like, one, if you're really insulin resistant, people that lead sedentary lifestyles, if you're really insulin resistant, you're going to crave sugar even more, and your body's not going to be able to use it very well. It's not going to be able to use the carbohydrates very well. So doing a lot more exercise, like cold therapy is great for this. It also improves insulin sensitivity, cryotherapy, ice baths. Strength training is probably the best and easiest way to go about it. But the things that people just stop doing as they age, sprinting and jumping. And those are really anaerobic, and that's really good for insulin sensitivity. So I do a lot of anaerobic activity. I still train like a volleyball player, still do jujitsu. Those things don't make me crave sugar, but they make me crave like really dense carbohydrate. And so my post-workout meal, if I have one, I know that sounds crazy, but generally I work out at like 7 a.m. I generally don't eat my first meal until like 10:30 or 11. At that point, it's almost always like oatmeal and some whey protein and a little bit of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Or just like a normal meal. Like I'd grab a meal from like Trifecta and throw it in the microwave.
My favorite thing to do, and this is kind of great for on the go, and it's also pretty budget friendly. I love the canned salmon. I think a Wild Planet makes canned salmon. I get the like sockeye salmon. I'll have an entire can and a whole avocado. I'll sprinkle some salt and pepper on it, and that is like a perfect post workout like meal snack, just to get me kind of like ready to work again.
Lots of protein and fat, and that's going to give you satiation, and that should keep most of those cravings down. All right, so we've like really abandoned the shit out of this whole thing, but that's okay.
It's good. I love the questions, though. I think it's really great engagement. So thank you so much for your questions.
Yeah, they just said this is the kind of answers that people usually pay for. So thank you. That's
all right.
Nice.
Well, you can Venmo me at no, I'm just kidding.
Very nice. I'm gonna go with a new. This will kind of like tie in. We just talked about like insulin resistance, strength training. This is a great Amazon Prime Day deal. I don't know if either of you have used this product before. If you haven't, this is basically a DNA override right here. This is things that you can do, or it can do, that you can't do willingly, like on purpose. So this is the Compex. This is the Sport Elite 3.0. Why is this? Well, they had a different. Well, it was a Prime Day deal like 2 hours ago, and now it's not on there. But it is. Either way, for $289, that's still a really good deal. It's normally like $350. This is something I've used for the last since 2010, and it has TENS, which is great for alleviating pain. It's a TENS unit, but more than that, it's an NMES device, and that's neuromuscular electrical stimulation. So if you're wanting to build muscle, this thing will do it. We use it with burn patients. We use it with people that have had like strokes, stuff like that can't physically work out because the muscle cells cannot tell the difference between this firing it and your brain firing it. So this is a great way to actually build muscle, build strength, build power without actually getting in the gym. So if you're a healthy person and you want to get stronger, you can actually use this to essentially fake like a 1 rep max, but still use really light weight so you don't get the joint load. This thing is absolutely incredible. If you don't have one, yes, absolutely get one. And I'll tell you, this is how you know I believe in it. I've been with Compex since like 2010. I have an affiliate code. I've not once seen a dime from the hundreds of these things that I've sold. And I still say get one.
Is it like BFR in a way? Okay.
No, it's not. So blood flow restriction training is a little different, where it allows for waste and certain byproducts to build up in the muscle, and those byproducts trigger growth. This is simply going like your muscles work on an all or nothing principle. For me to pick up this clamp, which actually is a secret health and fitness weapon, I'm going to talk about this in a bit. But for me to pick up this clamp, the muscle fiber that's fired is fired at 100%, but only a small percentage of my muscle fibers are firing. In order for me to pick up and use more percentage, it's going to have to be heavier, right? Compex overrides that. You can simply go use a higher percentage of muscle fiber and specify whether it's type 1 or type 2 muscle fiber. So if you want something that's more slow twitch or fast twitch, you can do that without any joint load. So it's pretty crazy. I can use light weights and essentially give my muscles the input as if we were using heavy weights at heavy volumes.
Oh, look at Shervin left a comment.
Yeah, which is weird because the guy's literally right there.
Whoa, that's meta.
I want to ask,
how often do I need to use it so it's effective? How will I see its effects? Great question, Shervin.
What's that 2-part? What's the minimum effective dose? Like, what do I need to do? I gotta take it out, tape it on my body, press the on button, or like select modes, and like, is there a big learning process to using it? And then 2, like, if I use it for 2 minutes a day for 3 days, will I turn into the Hulk?
Yeah. So what's nice about the Compex is the program is kind of like auto set. So it's like a set it and forget it. You don't need to worry about like how long to use it for. Okay. The biggest thing.
Sorry.
No. I would say the learning curve comes from like, where do I put it? Like, where do I? So if I want to make my bicep bigger, I'm just going to put one below. We say like downstream and upstream of said muscle, right? Sorry, that's for the like the TENS or the blood flow. If you want it on the muscle, then you would just like put the diodes like directly on the muscle because it has to activate those satellite cells. But Compex in the programming shows you where to place them too. Now, as far as effective dose, it depends on what you're trying to improve. If it's muscle mass, then volume's key. Like the more you use it, the more volume you can do. Like volume is key. Lactic acid is key for growth. But if it's something like anaerobic power, like if you want to get better at sprinting or something, then it's going to be far less, maybe like twice a week.
Do you do it before, during, after workouts? What's the best time to use it?
So it really depends the situation that you're in. Obviously, like I said, we've had burn victims use this, but they get burnt. They can't train, and so they start to atrophy. They're going to use it like whenever. Now, think of it like you have these signals that go from your brain to your body. So if I'm doing a leg extension, I want to build my quads, like just flexing my quad doesn't do much. Like I actually want to make my leg go through that motion. Well, Compex is like a shotgun blast of signal. It just kind of goes everywhere. To make it more effective, you want to use it specificity, right? You want to use it during the action that you're trying to like improve. So if I wanted to build my quads, I wouldn't just put it on my quads and turn it up. I'd put it on my quads and then do leg presses or do lunges or something like that. So the more specific you can get it, the better. If I want to improve my jumping, maybe I'm doing some like very reactive like plyometrics. I put it on my calves and do it during plyometrics. And that's why like go with the wired ones. Don't go for the wireless ones because you can't really train with them on. They just come off.
Makes sense.
Well, which one's better, the Sport Elite 3.0 or the Performance 3.0?
Another good question. The Edge is the lowest one that has your most basic programs, like strength, recovery, or whatever. For you, Shervin, because I know you, go the Sport Elite. Just get the best. It has all the programs. It does massage. It does like everything. So
And
if you are an advanced athlete and it's something, and like being a better athlete, getting better at fitness, strength, go with that version. If you're somewhere in the middle, get the performance. And if you're really on a budget or you're just starting out and you want something super basic, grab the Edge.
Okay, wait, I'm buying it now too. Thanks,
I
Shervin.
know it's in my inbox.
Shit.
Oh no!
My God. Okay, so the one that the link that you sent.
How have you
Shervin,
guys not
that's
heard
the
of
one?
this? I've done like 4 videos on these.
I know, but you know what? Now that I've like started strength training and I understand kind of the effects that this is going to have on my performance, I'm now all in. But I wasn't doing it before, you know,
Yeah,
it just didn't make sense for me earlier.
I will say, okay, so here's a couple of parameters. Like, this is great. I love this because I do love the Compex, but there are a couple of things that you got to know about this.
Mhm.
You want to turn it up as high as you can physically handle. This is not going to be comfortable. It's going to be painful. So back in the 50s when these started coming out in Stanford, the track team started to use these. This is going to flex your muscles involuntarily. Like you're not going to be able, like you're going to spasm and you're going to be like, what the heck? Well, Stanford was doing exercises where they would essentially sit people up in front of a wall so they couldn't extend their legs. And then they would crank this up to a point where they had to bite down on sticks because it was so painful. But the results were pretty incredible. I will say the first couple weeks, if you do get it to that level, you're going to experience a soreness you've never felt. It's not regular soreness. I remember the first time that I used it during a workout where my coach, the guy that got me onto this, I got sick from it. I got so sore that I got sick and swollen, but after that, like I never got sore again. Like even now, it's super hard for me to get sore, regardless of the training session that I do. I'll get like joint sore, like with jujitsu from impact, but muscle soreness, it just very rarely happens now.
Are there any contraindications? And we got a comment about whether or not it could cause a heart attack. I'm thinking like, you know, is there anyone that this would not be good for?
Well, one, you should always like, you know, consult your doctor. But
yeah,
can it cause a heart attack? It's an electrical stimulation. So you don't want to put leads over your chest. Can you use it on your pecs? You absolutely can. But you don't want to cross that signal. You also don't want to put it on your neck or anywhere near your brain. Okay?
Yeah.
So like again, it'll have directions. As far as contraindications, not that I know of. Maybe somebody that's got, you know, a pacemaker, that should be talked about. If you've got diabetes, this might be something you want to talk about, although I would see it being very beneficial for somebody with diabetes. Again, consult your doctor beforehand. But as far as I know, not really. Like I said, man, we've given it to people with strokes. We've given it to people with neuropathy, all sorts of stuff.
I just bought mine, so it'll get here on Friday. I'm wondering and I know Shervin's getting one, so I'm wondering if we can do a little demo, like come back together next week.
I will literally walk you through it.
Yeah,
so
that would be helpful.
So it's basically high-end version of those cheap ab and bicep electrostimulators. Yes. So here is...
Which I have, by the way.
Yeah, those things are using real science. Okay?
Yeah.
So real science. However, I mentioned this earlier, your muscles fire off of frequency. Like the harder you push it, the higher that frequency goes and it fires. The problem with those ab belts One, it's marketing. They tell you you're going to lose fat. You will not lose fat from this. That has nothing to do with fat. But they also don't fire at a frequency that actually like really engages the muscle that well.
Yeah.
So the relaxation ones actually don't fire at a low enough frequency that you can relax. And the ab belts and the bicep ones don't fire at a high enough frequency to actually really do anything. So it's real science, just misapplied.
Interesting. Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of gimmicking in like the slender tone and all of those. And yeah, I've experienced them, and it's so funny. It's like every time I kind of like thought about doing it, I was like, don't get it. And then one time I did, and it was like the shiny new object syndrome. I used it for a week, and then I stopped using it. And so it's like, it just happens.
Is that a Theragun Mini?
Yeah. What about massage guns? Like,
So-
do they have, like this is a paperweight. I bought it and I haven't used it.
It sucks.
I have one better than that, and I actually put it in the chat.
You did?
By Ekron Athletics, and this thing with the Prime deal is $122, which
Where-
I have it. I
there it is.
am absolutely 100% convinced that this is stronger than the Theragun.
About.
This is so much better than the Theragun. It's got such an intense power to it, and it also comes with 4 changeable heads, which the Theragun doesn't.
When do you use it, and what value? Like, I don't use my massage guns, but I want to. What value do you get out of it? When do you use it? What's the benefit?
Well, I mean, I personally use it anytime, like right after I do an exercise.
Katie, is it this one, the B37, or no? That's the super nice one.
No, it's the mini. So it's basically like
this one.
Yeah, I read a bunch of reviews, and when you apply the 25% off, I just checked it. Checked it in my cart. I think it's down to $122. So you're saving about $80 compared to the Theragun, and I think it's actually way strong, more intense in terms of the pulsations. And there's 3 different levels that you'll get. I use it like pretty religiously. Like I'll do a Pilates class, I'll do a bar class, and then afterwards, I mean, your muscles are sore. I'll use it on my calves, I'll use it on my hip flexors, which are the tightest parts of my body because I was a runner and cycler for so long. And I find that doing that kind of before I go to bed, maybe sometimes first thing in the morning. Also neck region. I don't know about you guys, but I hold all my tension up here in my shoulders and neck. And so that is, I mean, it's my go-to. I keep it at my desk. So midway through the day, I'll just start using it, because I sometimes slouch. And so it kind of just gets those muscles stimulating again. Honestly, I love it. And it's for that price, it's just like, it's totally worth it. The Theragun, I've tried it and I wasn't the biggest fan. But maybe I'll do a comparison between those two, because I think there's a lot to be said about that. And I'm not a big fan of mini massage guns or massage guns either. I think, it's really become a very commoditized, I think there's way too many products, and I think people get lost in the whole idea that like all these companies are basically white label marketing these, components that they're getting from overseas. And it's, and so I do like companies like Theragun and even Hypervolt that are putting a lot of time and energy and money into research around this stuff. But that being said, I still think that this product, the Ekron, is superior to the Theragun, and that is just my objective opinion.
Shervin, I'll go last because I've done a buttload of videos on massage guns at this point.
I know.
I just linked the most recent one.
Yeah, I saw that. I was gonna be like, Brandon, aren't you the expert? I have the Theragun Pro and the Mini, but I never use them. I want to use them more, and I just never felt like I got extreme value out of it or built the habit, I should say, of using it. But the recovery boots, I've used those at like wellness studios, and I like those a lot because you kind of sit there, you don't move anything. It's more of a lazy person's thing, and that's kind of me. I'm curious, like what your guys' thoughts are on recovery boots, because that's
they're
something
so expensive. That's my problem.
So this was actually one that I was going to post, and then I kind of want to jump back into massage gun because I think if you're going to shop for one, you should know like how they work, right? Because recovery boots and massage guns do two different things. Like they work on two different levels. But Normatec, which is like the gold standard brand, this is one that I found. Their full body right now is $1,199. I know that's a lot, but it's normally $3,400. So that's full body that takes care of everything. I use these at US Cryotherapy and I love them. And they work really well because it's graduated compression. And I'm actually doing a video on POTS right now. It's a condition I just got diagnosed with. Compression is part of my therapy, my recovery protocol. But these boots are great because they do very deep compression, which is great for essentially taking lactic acid and waste products and moving it back into the lymphatic system so you can flush it out. Worth it. Like if you're a runner or something like that, these things are absolutely phenomenal. But they do work differently than something like a massage gun, which uses percussion. Percussion is there to essentially turn off overactive. What's the word I'm looking for? But it inhibits like what do we call those? Trigger therapy, muscle knots. God, my brain is not working. But essentially, that percussion, that heavy percussion, can actually inhibit that and let those triggers release. So if you're looking for a massage gun, probably the most important factor is its the motor itself, not how fast it goes, not RPMs, not necessarily how deep it goes, but the stall force of the motor. So if I'm pushing hard and it burns out like really quickly, you want a motor that has a lot of stall force. Sorry. Anyway, for me, I've used the Ekrin. It was pretty good. I think the Recover Fun Mini, which is another one I've done, I'll put it up. Both the Recover Fun or the Recover Fun Mini have a ton of stall force, and they're pretty darn cheap. I think the Recover Fun Mini is, well, we'll see. Right now it's $80. So this is the mini one, and I like it because the footprint is so darn small. So it's probably like 30% smaller than that Ekrin. And then this is their normal Recover Fun. It's 170, but the stall force is like 60 pounds, which is like one of the highest. So if you are a thicker guy, like if you're the size of Sherman, who's the size of a barge, then you want something with like quite a bit higher stall force because you're trying to break through a ton of muscle. Some of my other favorites, well, actually, I can just say my least favorite ever was the Hypervolts Mini. That thing was just poo. Just absolute poo. Okay,
we got another. Oh yeah, sorry. I was gonna say we got another
segue to this.
Yeah.
So all of these kind of fall under the purview of self-myofascial release, and you're like, why the hell would I want a clamp that I'd buy at Home Depot or Amazon? So, the massage gun uses percussion. And have you guys ever heard of flossing? Do you ever do any sort of flossing?
I mean, I do it about twice a day, usually.
Not
like
with your teeth.
Right after I brush.
not that kind of flossing.
Wait,
Sherman,
what about
do you
this
know what I'm talking
flossing?
about?
Like the dance?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I'm talking about the dance. All right, so
guys, we need new words. Why are we always recycling the same words? Come on, people.
Flossing, really, I think that the term got popularized by Dr. Kelly Starrett. I don't know if you know who he is. The Supple Leopard. Awesome Instagram channel. The Ready State. Super good dude. Anyway, if you want to like change your life, get that book, follow his stuff. But flossing is essentially matting down a muscle, like compressing it, and then putting it through a range of motion so that the muscle is stripped and lengthened. And it's one of the quickest ways to give yourself more mobility. So as we work out, as we train, the muscles get shorter, more brittle. That connective tissue gets shorter and more brittle. And so you need something to lengthen that out. And so this clamp for your pecs and your lats, which are very problematic areas for people, like most people sitting down and their shoulders are hunched forward like I am, this area gets really tight. And so this clamp, I think I bought like a huge package of them for like $14, but if you can just get one, that just sticks right in your pec. Ow, that hurts super bad. So it's like going and getting a massage when somebody just presses down on your trigger, and then you would just go through a range of motion.
Can you throw that up in the show notes? I need to buy one too.
Yeah. Oh God, this hurts so bad. But like literally, I do this with volleyball players. You can take somebody with a pretty much a frozen shoulder, somebody that the arm can't even raise, and you stick this on them, on their pec or the lat, and you just go through like YTWs, open up, but essentially just go through overhead, do like 50 reps, and pretty soon you'll feel like you have a new shoulder.
Okay, this is phenomenal. I played violin for 10 years, and so just my left shoulder is super weak. And when I try to do like any type of, shoulder presses, this is the left is the first to fatigue. Do you think that by doing something with the clamp, like just exercises, but that it's going to help kind of bring some mobilities? I feel like it's a sensation thing. Like I'm just not getting enough sensation in that side of the arm.
Like it's definitely going to give you way more mobility.
Okay.
That's
more really
mobility.
What I want. Yeah.
Like if you go to a physical therapist, they'll do this. And it's, for me, I've always tried to figure out, like, how do I do this to myself? So sometimes I'll go to the gym and I'll put a really heavy kettlebell on my pec and do that. But it's not quite the same because it's also not getting underneath here. For the lat, I still am trying to figure that out. You can have a partner put it on you and then you can do it. But I mean, this will make your neck feel better. This will make your traps, shoulders, pecs, lats, all of this feel better. This clamp was just like that's how I can do it. I was like trying to figure out how to like mount it to like a door so I could just go in and do it to myself. But just grab a clamp, stick it on there.
What is it? I'm seeing like a package of like 10 3.5 inch. Is that what you got?
So you guys should, just like, it's like this.
It's not specifically designed for the use of, so
not at all.
Interesting.
So like here are some mini ones, but you guys should have these anyway, because when you're shooting videos, if you need to like clamp stuff, like a shitty green screen like Shervin's using, or some diffusion, these clamps just make it easy. So
so is it a 6-inch or I'm sorry, I'm also like, you are the best salesman ever. I literally am buying so much on Amazon right now because of you, but this is actually something I think I'm going to use and need. Are they this one is 3.5. There's also 6-inch. Like, how do you know what size to get?
I mean, I feel like this is maybe that 3.5-inch.
Okay.
But that 6 inches, I mean, for you, Katie, because you're pretty petite, like this is going to be great. For Shervin and me, like something a little bit bigger for our lat would be good, because I do this to my wife all the time. She tries to do it to me. Like, it burns the shit out of your hands trying to do this to somebody. Like, you're grabbing this massive chunk of muscle and you're pinching it as hard as they can while they go through these results, or while they go through these motions. It's really hard. So like, this has actually been really useful. I clamped, these are really strong. Clamp that on there. It's just hard plastic, so if you wanted to put some cushioning over it, you could maybe cut like a bit of tennis ball or something, put that over there and smash that in there. But it's just something that I think you experiment with.
Do you have like routines that you have? Because I can see myself just like completely injuring myself doing this at home and just like sticking it on like parts of my body I shouldn't. Do you have any like a video on this or anything that you can share with the audience here?
I think most people don't realize this, but like half of my YouTube library is exercises. You just have to go back further than like a year and a half, because I stopped posting those.
Okay.
Just nobody cared. So if you go into my channel and I think go to playlists, there's either the Fix Yourself playlist, which this would fall under, or there's exercises.
Cool.
Somebody, I just want to follow up because somebody asked, like, how does Compex compare to competitors? Ben Greenfield was once promoting one called PowerDot. What are your thoughts? So, what's his name?
Of course he was.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
part of Hyperice or Hypervolt, right? Or no, that's the Theragun one. I think.
I think they got bought, but Josh Bridges was a CrossFit athlete, and he was with Compex for a long time. I think he left Compex, used the technology, made his own, and I've compared them before. And the PowerDot is definitely like the Tesla of these, but it never works. So the features that they have in it, if Compex could do the same thing, oh my gosh, lights out. But one, it's wireless. I don't like wireless ones because the pod that goes on your skin has to contain the battery, right? Like in a wired one, the battery is inside the head unit. You're passing an electric signal through your muscle. If you do it long enough, it heats up. The sticky stuff becomes less sticky. And if you add more weight, then it just falls off. So you're constantly putting this thing back on, not to mention the Bluetooth sucked. So it would constantly become disconnected. The process of connecting it was an absolute nightmare. There's also another brand called Mark Pro. Compex is still the one that I've used the most. They're owned by a company called DonJoy. DonJoy has been making recovery products, braces, all sorts of things for, decades. So the amount of money they dump into R&D, Compex just hasn't figured out how to market. Like they suck at it. They've been shitty at adopting new features, and I wish they would, but right now they are absolutely hands down the best, the most reliable out of all of them. Can you guys still hear me? Oh, okay. Well, that was it. That's all I had to say. And then it just went quiet.
Shervin, you should say something.
Shervin hasn't spoken in like 20 minutes. I think Shervin is playing Roblox right now.
I think he has stroked his mustache more than he's actually.
I know. Something. It's like, what devious plan is he coming up with?
I don't know what else to say.
I mean, when you live in that kind of apartment with the pool right in the background, how could you not just be like thinking about
it's
the
a hot
pool
day?
time?
I've been craving jump in there all day.
All right.
Shervin, what do you do for recovery? I'm just curious.
Sauna and ice bath.
Where? Do you have one in your complex?
Yeah, downstairs. I'm fortunate enough that my gym is literally downstairs and they have all that, so I'll go there. The sauna doesn't get hot enough, but that's okay because it's still there.
Because it's 95 degrees in New York right now, so that's pretty hot.
Yeah, it's 84 in my room right now, and my AC doesn't. I think my AC has mold in it, and I need to contact my people to fix it, but I haven't done that, so.
Better get on it.
Hey, this person said, Brandon, Shervin said a giveaway would come.
Whoa! I did not say that. Where did I say that?
I'm looking at, and I didn't plan on one, and I don't believe he mentioned one. I wish I had something to give away, but
you're giving away $10,000 to the person who made the most amount of comments in the live chat, right?
Oh man, yeah, that would be phenomenal if I had $10,000 just sitting at my disposable.
What if you give away a clamp? One clamp per person.
Yeah, you want me? It's domestic only though, US. I'm not shipping internationally for a single clamp.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, funny. I wish. I'm doing a big giveaway for the 25,000. We're about to hit 25,000, so I'll do it. Yay! But honestly, thank you. Honestly, I just give all of my stuff away. Like my 8 Sleep, I gave that away. So
yeah,
like when I get stuff, I already have people that are. When I can't think of somebody that needs something, then I'll do a giveaway. But for the most part, I don't do a lot unless they're like big channel things. It just, dude, right now, like, I don't know if you guys have done a giveaway and you've shipped something. Jesus Christ, is it expensive right now?
It is expensive. And would hate to charge the person who won, like, so I'm actually doing a giveaway next week
Okay.
on and I'm sorry, like, this is totally off topic, but
No,
there's
you're
a
good.
amazing personal training / fitness workout app. I know you've tried it, Shervin. It's called Future. I'm obsessed. It has completely changed the way I think about working out because I'd never been a fan of strength training, and now it's all I do, and it has completely shifted the way I like my hormones are working. I feel at the top of my game every day, and I like have this app to thank and the coach I'm working with. So I'm doing a video review on that. I'm going to give away 5 guest passes next week. So stay tuned on Monday if you're interested, but it'll be 1 month free to try Future to get a coach.
Is
I mean,
this
it's
it,
only
Katie?
available. Yeah, it is. It's only available on iPhone, only in the US right now. That'll change, I'm sure, but it is probably the best investment I've made in my fitness health all year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Future is
can't
the
I can't
future
talk
of it.
about it enough. I like literally am telling like people in my Pilates class. I'm telling strangers. I told my mom like I reached out to the company and I was like I want to work with you guys. And that it doesn't always happen. Like usually people are always promoting and sending you stuff and all that. And I was like I found them on a fluke. Like I just
Yeah.
was like in the app store because I had just joined a gym and I was like I don't know what I'm doing. And I love my coach and I'm obsessed. I'm really obsessed and it's all organic. And I love those things when it happens naturally. You're like, I found this thing and it's great and I can't wait to share it. So next week, stay tuned. And anyway, sorry, I'm a little obsessed, as you can
No,
tell.
it's okay. Shervin, you are like my go-to when it comes to like apps, fitness and or otherwise. It seems like you are dialed in more than anybody I know when it comes to apps. Like Future sounds awesome. I just downloaded it.
That's
Do you have
What's
any
really funny is
details?
I used Future for like a year.
Wow.
I took a break because I spent too much. It just got too expensive. But I tried another one called Copilot. It was a little bit cheaper. But it's interesting how like you just discovered it on the App Store.
I did. I was like, I went in to download a workout app because I know there's
Yeah.
there's a ton of those. And I've used, which one did I use I've done Sworkit and there's another one, Fitbod. And those are great because they show you demos, but I found myself getting so bored because I would do the same routine over. And what's nice about Future, as you've done, is like every week you get something new. And then you also like, I don't know, I like the aspect of being able to communicate with your coach and share like what your form looks like, and it's just and it's all connected to your Apple Watch, and so you track everything there. I don't know, it's just been a great experience. I signed up for another 6 months of it, so
That's
yeah,
amazing.
we'll see.
No, yeah, I've never
Shervin,
been
is
so
this it?
accountable. Yeah, they're both pretty much the same. I think the Future has more funding behind them, and they just have a better user experience overall. But if you just want something that's going to have a coach and workouts and integration with the Apple Watch, both of them kind of do the same thing in a way. But there are like a little intricacy differences between the two.
Gotcha. So I'm liking this person because I don't think they have a filter and they just let it fly.
Yeah,
So,
you're awesome, and thank you for following our channels. That was so kind of you, and I hope that
Yeah.
we continue to keep coming back to these lives because we love to hear from you, and thank you for all your feedback so far on this call.
They posted, yes, thank you. They posted just by an Apple Watch. It tracks everything.
That's so true. The only thing it doesn't do well is sleep, though, and they really got to fix that. And they're going to do glucose monitoring, I think, sometime soon. I don't know. That's rumored.
So it was supposed to be out last year.
Yeah.
Then it's not, and now they were like there was this. Oh, they've got this brand new technology, and it happened to be like now they're tracking skin temperature. So they still don't have glucose monitoring.
Mm-hmm.
That would be kind of a game changer. Again, Shervin, I want to hear your thoughts on just by an Apple Watch. It tracks everything. I mean, kind of, yes, because there's so many different apps that will track different things, but there's a limiting factor for me as to why I don't use an Apple Watch, and it comes down to it just gets in the way. Like I'm having to charge it so often that I'm like, this is a nuisance. But What about you?
I use it like Apple Watch is my best friend. It's I love the it's just a computer on my wrist. It's like my cell phone, and my cell phone's like my laptop. And like I got the new update, the beta, and they add sleep stages, but that stuff is not that important to me. Like it's you just like what can you really learn from sleep stages?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love the Apple Watch. I charge it when I wake up, and I charge it right before I go to bed. And I think it's a great device. Like if I could go without my iPhone, I would, but it just doesn't have a camera.
So here's the Apple Watch. This is a fun one. Here's another comment that I don't believe has any validity at all. But hey, it is rumored that the new Apple Watch will be able to drug test you. They don't have anything in their software or their hardware that I know of that can actually take blood alcohol levels or monitor for marijuana, cocaine, LSD. Have you guys heard anything about this? And would you buy it if it could?
Yeah, I actually heard that since the Series 3, it's been doing that, and they send that information to the government. And yeah, they've been tracking that for a while. They're going to use the trend to either increase or decrease your taxes depending on your drug use.
I love that you were able to do that with a mostly straight face. Yeah. No, me personally, no, I don't think they could. I think there's a litany of like privacy issues that they would have to overcome to get that. Like that would send a pretty massive ripple throughout the US if Apple was able to like, oh yeah, by the way, we can just track whether or not you're drunk driving or not.
But
I mean,
but
in
the
theory,
thing
that's
is,
like a really good idea. But when it comes to like drug testing, like then you're dealing with individual states and their laws, and so
I just
I
got one
gotta
of these.
jump. I gotta jump, guys. But it was so
okay.
great talking with all of you. I will leave one thing, food for thought. Do you think that Apple will ever come out with a ring?
I think Apple wouldn't come out with a ring unless they bought it from somebody else. I think if they saw, hey, there's like a way to well, they're not going to come out with it unless they know they would dominate the market. And then two, like if they could just buy it, acquire it, and make it better, that's probably more likely than Apple building something from the ground up. But I don't know.
I don't think so. Like if the Apple Watch can do everything a ring can do, why make a ring?
No. Well, I just saw there's a lot of companies, Ultra Human, Circular. There's a lot of new competition for Aura coming out this year. And so I just, of course you think like, well, Apple's going to probably just be like, hey guys, and then drop the mic on that. They could, but I just was, I was curious because, a ring could do more sleep tracking stuff if that was something that they were interested in pursuing down the line. I don't know.
I think Apple would probably be more likely to co-op with Tesla and just use a subdermal to track everything.
It's so true. It's so true. I gotta run, but Brandon,
Yep.
I'm getting the Compex on Friday, and so I'm
Right
gonna
on.
hit you up.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for
If
that.
you want to
So
do
it
like
was,
a walkthrough of the whole thing, we definitely can.
yeah,
Thanks,
awesome.
Katie.
And it was so good to see you, Sherman. Enjoy
Yes.
your time in New York. It was so beautiful when I was there. And bye, everybody.
We'll see ya.
I'm also gonna drop as well. Thank you so
No
much
problem.
for having me.
I got to bounce too, Shervin. I can't believe we made this happen. Thanks for finally coming on.
Did it. Yes. All the best. We'll have to connect soon in person.
Yeah, if you get the Compex, let me know, man. I'll see you later.
I will.
Bye.
It's coming next Thursday.
Sounds good. We'll see you. All righty. Well, that was fun. So hopefully we answered your questions. Like I said, there are a lot of products that we didn't get to. I don't want to take too long because then the day is going to be over. But as soon as I post this, I'll put everything in the description so that you can go in. It's a kit.co link. So they're not individual links to every single product. It's one link to all the products. You can just go through and see which ones you like. Click on those. Those were some of the best. Definitely check out DocPro. That's seriously the best thing I've invested into for my health has been Dock Pro, and right now it's 20% off. So check that out. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Peace.